Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon, and this is Behind the Enthusiast. Today, well, I'm going to be making a bit of a PSA video, and that is because of something that recently happened, a conversation that I had, interaction with a relatively young lady. I think she was 27 years old, and you know, at 27 years old, you would think that you would know better. You would think that you would know better about excessive speed and being a passenger on a motorcycle. However, it has become apparent to me, very much apparent, that that is not the case. And so today I really want to talk about this. Whether you guys are in the US, Canada, over in Europe, wherever you guys are watching this video from, I cannot stress this enough. If you guys are going to do something stupid, if you guys are going to go at excessively fast speeds, something where you're exceeding the speed limit by, let's say, 100 kilometers per hour or something crazy like that, if the speed limit's 80 and you're doing 150, or if the speed limit's 80 and you're doing 248 kilometers per hour with a passenger on the back, you are a complete moron. I don't care. I'm done sitting here idle and not talking about this. This is such a big problem, and I get it. Some of us, when we were young, whether it's myself, a family member like my brother or my dad, cousins maybe, whoever, yes, us guys, we generally, we've got a lot of testosterone, we get that adrenaline rush. We do stupid things from time to time. However, endangering the lives of other people while on a public road, there's no excuse for it. I get it. Some guys, like if you're speeding a little bit, you're going over like 10 or 20, generally you don't get pulled over, right? Because you're going with the flow of traffic. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going over the speed limit by a little bit while maintaining the flow of traffic, right? If you're doing that, that is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about those excessive speeds where you're quite literally doing 100 over the speed limit or more. This is just such a huge problem. There was news recently where I think it was a husband and wife. They didn't really give all the details, but it was an elderly couple on a bike, and supposedly a person pulled out in front of them, and the woman died. I think they were in their 60s, late 60s, I believe. The woman died, and the man, as far as I know, he was in stable condition. And hearing a story like that, let's say 1 to 2 weeks prior to having this conversation with this young lady, it is very, very upsetting for me. I know, again, that's why I kind of mentioned it. When you're young, you make mistakes, whatever. It happens. Hopefully, you don't, have too big of a mistake and cause an accident. However, some of us have close calls when we're younger, and we learn instantly. Literally, snap of the fingers, you go, I'm never doing that again. That's good. I hope that most of us are that lucky to just have a close call and it snap and it just sink right in. However, there are people out there who don't respect you whatsoever. They literally are selfish. They're speeding. They're breaking the law. They're stunt driving, I guess, is what the police might call it nowadays. But when you have someone on the back of your bike, yes, a passenger, this is the main thing that pisses me off. Because if I go to pick up a woman for a date and I tell her mother that I'm going to respect her wishes and keep her daughter safe, and yet I go out and do 248 kilometers per hour with her on the back, I deserve to get strangled by the husband, right? That woman's husband is going to strangle me because I've taken her daughter out and I put her in a very dangerous situation. And everyone always says, oh, well, You know, I did it with no one around. That's not the point, all right? It doesn't matter if no one else is around. It doesn't matter if it's late at night or during the day. It does not matter. If you are endangering someone else, you are a moron. You're a POS, all right? You're an a-hole. I can call you all the names under the sun. Don't do it, all right? And for passengers, this is for the ladies or even guys who are passengers. Please, if you don't know the person, all right? If you don't know them very well, or if it is even a good friend, please have a chat. Please talk to them before you go on the bike. Tell them, I don't want to go fast, all right? And if they do, punch them in the head as soon as you get off the bike and tell them to go to hell, all right? Just, these people do not respect you whatsoever. And this conversation that I had with this woman, you know, she told me that she was on the back of a bike at 248 kilometers per hour, and I believe was an 80 because it's a street that I'm very familiar with. I go there. I take it to go to events like soccer, visiting, you know, friends and or family, you know, to see my goddaughter. The last thing that I want on my mind is having to worry about some idiot doing 248 kilometers per hour through that section of road, even if it is for 2 seconds or whatever. So you can't tell me, oh, it was only for a second, or, oh, I felt pretty safe. What do you mean you felt pretty safe? How can you possibly feel pretty safe on an open public road at 248 kilometers per hour with, what, minimal gear? You're definitely not wearing leathers, I'll tell you that. So, literally, the blink of an eye, just like that, blink of an eye, you could go down. Something could malfunction on the bike. The chain could snap. The brakes could seize. Anything is possible. You know, road surface hazard, an animal, you know. There's so many things that can go wrong at those speeds. It really grinds my gears. It really gets at me. It really upsets me. And I have to talk about it. I have to get this video out to you guys so that you understand the importance of, you know, trying to do the speed limit as much as possible. And, you know, just, I get it. We're on motorcycles. Everyone wants to have fun. You want to twist that throttle just a little bit more than you usually do. Yeah, sure. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But there's a time and a place for everything. Go to a racetrack, a drag strip, whatever, right? Wear full leathers. Don't have a passenger with you, all right? If you're going to do this stuff, take precautions, all right? Simple as that. Don't do it on the public roads, and don't do stupid breakneck speeds. And the thing is, when I hear about someone, you know, having an accident, that's really upsetting. It really makes me sad to hear about people losing their lives while riding, while enjoying such a great, you know, hobby, a pastime, if you will. You know, being a motorcycle enthusiast, I absolutely encourage people to get out on two wheels and just enjoy it. It is such a unique experience. It's wonderful if done correctly. Now, obviously, this conversation that I had with this person, it really upset me. That's why I had to make this video. I just had to. I couldn't just keep talking about it and stewing over it. I was like, no, I'm making a video, a PSA, if you will, to address everyone who watches any of the videos on my channel. I just had to do this. And I hope that you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Maybe, well, based on the analytics, I think a lot of you actually have children, just because there is a lot of you who are much older, and chances are you have children. And I'm sure you probably have had that conversation with your sons or daughters or, you know, relatives of, you know, safety on a motorcycle. And this is just one of those components, you know, being respectful of your passengers and other people on the road. You know, if someone isn't comfortable, you shouldn't be doing it, right? And for someone to be naive to think that it's safe, even just for a second, it doesn't matter how long the duration is for that speed, anything can happen. Literally the blink of an eye, something can happen and it will never end well. It just doesn't. I've heard about it. I've been working at Harley for coming up on 7 years, and I have heard some of the most grotesque stories from fellow riders, service people, like police officers telling me about scenes where they got called to a scene. Yeah, I'm not even going to tell you what they saw, but they told me, and it's gruesome. It's horrible. You do not want to experience these things, and it can be very, very dangerous. But it can also be very, very fun, right? But you have to be safe about it. You have to be smart. You have to be aware. And yeah, just, guys, please, I implore you, don't do anything stupid with a passenger, and try not to do anything stupid when it's only you. You know, if you can get to a track and drag race with your buddies, you know, and you get your little time slips, go do that. Don't do it on the road, all right? I get it. Every once in a while, you know, you race from light to light. Cool. That's not a big deal. Maybe you do 10 over. You know, you're just going in first gear and you go, and you race. Cool. Everybody does that, right? That's not a big deal. It's only the excessive speeds and the just sheer stupidity, lack of respect for other people's lives, including your own, that really pisses me off. And I shouldn't be this upset when I'm talking about something that I love. You know, I love riding my motorcycle. So to hear about people not respecting other people's lives, I mean, life is so, so precious. I have lots of young children in my family, you know, nieces, nephews, cousins, goddaughter, you know, like, I mean, I'm thinking about all these kids, you know, it's just, ah, man, I think I've gotten my point out. I think I have. I hope I have. And if you guys have had any experiences with this, you know, growing up, if you want to share your stories, you know, please leave them down below for me so that I can read them. You know, let out your frustrations in the comment section as well. This, quite frankly, seems to be a growing problem, and I want it to stop as soon as possible. So I think the best thing to do right now is to have this conversation about it and make sure that we are all on the same page and that we are educating young riders and passengers about the dangers of high speeds. Plain and simple. So that is my PSA for today. Hopefully I don't have to do too many more of these, but I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. You know, it was agitating me quite a bit today, you know, so I'm hoping that this video is seen by someone and it helps them, you know, rethink perhaps doing something that is not so smart on the road, and maybe I can prevent someone from having a really bad day as well. So again, you know, this is just a PSA, you know, just having this conversation. And if you guys did like it, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. Leave your stories down below to share them with me and everyone else. And of course, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content on the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.